Alright guys, welcome back to part 2. I have gotten a lot done, pretty much what I said, but then a little bit. So I put a little walkway out here just for our own convenience, but there's what I meant. Now eventually our greenhouse will be too longer, right? So what we'll do is when we go to make it too longer, we can cut this off, drop it down, and then we'll actually probably bring it back over. This will be all the way out to here, so this will be part of the greenhouse. So we'll remove that pipe, but for now, it'll save us a little work, and it'll save us the underground portion. We won't have to dig that back up again. And eventually we'll put our control circuit for the heating and cooling way over here, which is just sort of out of the way. And so I ran a wire at least outside of the existing so that we have a power wire here. So that's another thing I didn't talk about. And I did do a little stub up because we're probably going to put, what is this guy doing? Yeah, it's melting. You know what we can do with this real quick is put it in here. So close this, and then what'll happen is we can melt this ice water in a minute and dump it over into our thing. That's something I was going to show you in a different video, but once we get this going, we can dump the volatiles and oxide, and that's how you can get not unlimited oxygen, but any oxide that you mine, you can just dump into that furnace. And we're actually going to sort of set up this other one here to be able to, oops, yeah, I dumped another canister, so we have even more CO2. Yeah, see, we got other oxide leaking. It's the air coming from somewhere. I don't know, whatever. What we want to do, we want to come in here. Let's get back to work. So I'm going to come in here, take this off so that we can get the pipe from here, which this will be our evacuation pipe, right? And we don't need these on us right now. And so I've got this one. When we turn this one on, it's going to come down here, come over here. Let's finish this job off, one job at a time, right? I went and got these radiators, and these radiators just go right on a pipe. I don't think it really matters which direction, but let's have it radiate off up into space, right? So we'll just put, am I missing? Yeah, I'm missing. Oops. Is it this guy needs it? Yeah. Can't hardly see with the sun. So we may end up putting more. I don't think we'll need too many. And I know you can't see because it's just glaring sun, but let's see if we can't get to an angle that's... Here, let's jetpack. For the sake of YouTube, we'll jetpack over here. So there we go. So we have these radiators, so any of the air that goes through here will hit those radiators and cool off extra. So when we turn this air on, it'll circulate air around the room. Now another thing we can do with that is break this off here. We could put some valves, and we can, basically run it through a filter if we wanted to. So we could actually run it through our whole filtration system and then, take some out using that. But really, to take some out using it, I like to do with this. And so what I'll have is probably some kind of a system to dump it back in eventually. Probably not, I don't know if I'll make a video about all that, but this is just a beginner to noob series, or noob to Stationeer series, so we're not about all the fanciness here. We're just about getting you a good working knowledge of what you need to do to get going, So, speaking of getting going, we are going to bring this pipe out. Now, this pipe is going to be our discharge, so we're going to be able to just suck everything out of here. And if you notice, because, my layout is pretty darn deliberate. Let me jetpack for a minute. And we're going to bring this guy straight across here. Now our intake is right there, so hopefully we can actually line this up. I think it's going to be right here. And I'm actually going to do a junction, a T, like this. Let's jetpack down since we can see again. Right? I hope so. Let's, I might need more pipes, but long way to straight. Yeah, you really want to be in front of it where you can see the end of the pipe. It's all sort of a waste of your time because we're not even gonna worry about this too much. But now that I'm in the middle of it, I feel compulsion to finish it, right? So I can show you guys what it's gonna be. All right, let's come over here. Now the reason I put that T, which I'm sure you guys might have even figured out, nothing like staring at the sun, can't see anything. There we go. So now, what we can do is we can turn this guy on if we want to just take all the air out of the bait out of this and bring it over to here. Now we might want to put a valve because it will fill this up, but I don't think it won't blow back out that way, you know. But what we're also going to do is take this pipe off of here and bring it over and tie it in. But again, that's for another episode. But for now anyway, you can see how we have a way of taking the gas out of our greenhouse here, not wasting it, you know, and putting it back in there. We also have a way of cooling it, and we have a way of heating it. So let's see what happens when we turn this on. If anything happens. There, that's on. Oh, we didn't hook up the top there, did we? All right. I remember that now. So let's see if we can do it without leaving the earth. And we'll leave the earth just because life will be easier if we leave the earth. There we go. So that heater should now... Nope, I turned it back off. Good. There we go. The heater works. Set outward, which is what we want because we want it to blow out of here and back into there. So turn it on, it works. And then this guy set inward, we'll set that guy outward. It works. Now the other thing I want to do, this is more for the future proofing against myself, is come in here, take the labeler, since I'm, you know, this is all clear in my mind right now, and turn it on. And I want to rename this, you know, active vent greenhouse exhaust, meaning exhaust the, you know, all the gas out of the greenhouse, and then active vent greenhouse cooling. Confirm. And then, you know, it probably shouldn't matter too much, but we could rename the heater, though they're pretty ambiguous. Like, in other words, we may end up with a series of heaters. Like, I think one heater will be fine for this room, especially on the moon. Might not even ever use it much, but when we go to do the control circuit, you could have like a whole wall full of heaters so you can heat it up. But even in a 5x5, I think like 2, the one may even do it, you know, like. So anyway, there we go. So we got all that working. It's powered up. So I think we can close this up and start seeing what happens if we actually get some air in here finally. And I say finally, I mean it's been a deliberate, you know, deliberate thing. Now we want composite window, by the way. You don't want any of the other. We'll do the walls first. Now we can get out if we seal ourselves in. It's a good thing to check. You can always bust one of these back open, but and again, if you were you were doing this, oop, what happened there? There we go. Why is that? It's kind of goofy. If you were doing this in a more urgent situation, you know, you don't have to go through all the work we did. And I think I've said that enough times. All right, there we go. So now what we need to do is add a bunch of these sheets. I don't know if I have enough, but if you look, you can, you know, you want to be careful and methodical about this because it's kind of hard to tell what's done. But you don't need the welder or anything. You just plop in a sheet with your hand. And you can kind of tell the difference because there's little bolts there. Like it does change the graphic, if you can see that. But I found, especially with the windows, just try to be methodical because it's kind of hard to tell if you don't. You can, if you pay attention and you look for the window being missing, you can kind of see it. But it's just easier to be very methodical about putting in the glass. Go. So now let's switch over to this, and I think we have enough, right? Oh no, we don't have enough because we're going to need. Oh no, yes we do. No, do we? I don't know. We'll see. I think this is all the sheets I have in the world too. Yeah, it's a little hard to tell if they're solid, but. Yeah, see there, because we have the ground, I'm counting on the fact we can't weld anymore on there. But one of those didn't have a basic frame on it. It just had the, there we go, so that's sealed. Yep, they all look sealed. So let's seal this up. We're not going to have enough. All right, let's seal this one up. And that's all we have. So let's go make some more frames. We can test our cycle 2 exterior. Yeah, that guy needs 2 right there. And we've got to do the floor and the... So how much iron do we have in here? Enough. Build frames. Oop. Sheets. Cool. What else? Can we get rid of something? Yeah, we don't need these wall things in here. And we do need the glass. We might as well keep those frames on us. I don't think the pipes are hurting anything to carry them around. Makes these pretty quickly. We'll just get more than we probably ever need. There you go. That's more than we need. Yep, 15. All right, so let's go back. Well, I don't even know if we have to go in there. Let's just come here and weld that guy on. Seal the floor up. Just check everything. Turn this guy off. Yeah, so even though we went through the door like that. Now, by the way, I think we could just hit this, you know, we could just hit that keypad if we were on the inside and stuck in there. So we're just going to cancel the pressurization because there is no pressure in here. There you go. So I think we're all sealed up except for putting the glass in. So let's get rid of this guy and we'll put glass in. Oh, you know what? We didn't do something. Nope. I know what I'm missing. All right. You know what? It doesn't matter. We can, let's finish one thing at a time. We're going to finish putting the glass in. We don't have a way of dumping. There we go. So you can kind of see that there's a glare there compared to over here. So let's just finish up methodically doing the roof. this one, those 2 rows are done. It's a little bit finicky getting to a spot sometimes. There we go. We should be sealed in, except for now we got to unseal ourselves. So let's go here, and we're going to take both of those off. And cycle to exterior. We don't need that tool. And what we need to do is actually get a volume pump. Do we have much stuff in here? Probably don't have enough iron. Let me go get another slug of iron. All right, so what I want to get... Oh, no, don't make that. No, stop. I want to get a... Yeah, we don't have too many pipes. We don't need that many. Volume pump. There it is. So we're going to get a volume pump. We're going to get a tank canister holder. I think we have enough canisters, certainly for the duration of the video. We didn't run any. We need to run a little power to this too, don't we? Oh, what am I doing? Stop. We only need one of those. And it's all the way over there now. And a passive vent, which I think I have. But you know what? Since we're over here, and I know if we make one, we'll have a passive vent. Oh, went right past it, didn't I? I think it might be in that other locker. I'm not sure. Maybe it's an active vent I have. There we go. All right, so we're not going to be able to place that until we get everything else going. And do we run out all the cable? Yeah, not enough copper. That's why I made a few extra coils. Let's just, while we're here, make a few extra copper cables. Power critical. How did that happen? Was I ignoring the message the whole time, I guess? Oh, look at that. We had a whole bunch in there. Good. Now we have more than we need. All right, so what we want to do is, we don't want to end up hitting that one, so why don't we put our tank holder in first. Let's close this guy. And I'm going to put him in upside down. Might have been better to leave that. Yeah. Very good. And then what I'll do is I'll come out of here with a 90, I think. Let's see how this works out. Yep. And then we'll come back down with the 90. And then we'll put our volume pump facing down and out. All right. And then we'll come up with another 90. And then we'll go with a straight. We can't get in there, can we? That's okay. Can we get one? Well, no, we'll just go in there. Once that door closes, we can cancel this. There we go. So now we can put another passive vent. I guess we should put it facing up, huh? And we can't place it until we put in this thing. I don't think we need... Oh, no, wait. Let's do the wire first, huh? So, now the problem I have is... Whoa. I don't know if I put that into a goofy mode or not, huh? Yeah, I think I might have just clicked wrong. It's going to try to pressurize. And, well, maybe it'll pressurize when we put some gas in there, right? So the problem is I have this guy poking right at that guy. Do you see that? So let's move this over one more. How's that sound? So let's go get this guy. We'll take this guy off. Get our pipes before this guy rolls away. And we'll put in a straight. And then a 90. And then this guy. And then we can put that wire right in there, right? All right, so let's get some wire. And we want a 90 going that way. And then we want to tie into this one, I guess, right? Can we reach that guy? Yep. There we go. At least that caused that to open from the inside, huh? All right, so now can we get a junction? No matter what I do, I'm hitting the wrong one. Yeah, that's where their system here gets frustrating. No matter what you do, you seem to hit the wrong one. There we go. So now the volume pump has power. And even though it's part of our door circuit there, that's probably not the end of the world. All right, so let's see if we can't cycle it, depressurizing. Yeah, good. So the fact that we cut the power off got us out of that. You know, stop trying to do that. So let's be a little more patient with hitting the buttons. There we go. So now we're on the inside. And let's get rid of this and this. And we want our steel sheets back. And let's weld this guy back up. Turn that off. Put that away. There we go. So now that should be hooked up so that when we put a canister of CO2, it'll blow it into the room here. All right, guys, I think we're ready. Let's cycle to the exterior. This seems to be working fine. And if we got it wrong, we'll know about it. Got that empty canister. Let me top off. Top off what we're carrying around as far as the wire goes. All right, so this canister should be empty, and what I really want now is I want our you know what? I think it's in that other locker. Yeah. Sorry. Yep, there it is. I want our Atmos sensor. Turn this guy on. Now we don't have anything in this canister, but we got a good amount in this tank. So let's go ahead and turn this regulator on and get that guy filling up. And while we're waiting for that, which will take a minute, why don't we go get another tank full? Probably could have turned that on 10 minutes ago. Huh? Yeah. And how's this guy doing? He still has kilomoles of X in there. He doesn't have too much. Oh, 849 moles of CO2. So if we don't have enough by the end of the episode, in between episodes, I'll get our KPAs up by running more of these cylinders back and forth. It'll take a minute for that guy to fill up. Yeah. All right. The other thing we can do is we could dump our waste tank directly into there, but I'd rather just dump it through the system and let it.
Tank critical.
What happened there? Oh, I don't know. I was thinking one thing and doing another. So I put this guy in here. Switch it. Let's see if this guy's done yet. Yep. Yeah, it said 1 kPa. That's okay. Oh, wait a second. There we go. Switch it that way. Very good. So if we take a look at E, see we had CO2 and oxygen in that waste tank, so which probably wouldn't have been bad to put in there, but I think we just want a CO2 environment in our thing. I don't think there's any benefit to having oxygen in that room. Matter of fact, as a general statement, eventually we'll have to filter out oxygen if anything. So let's close this. Might as well swap it while we're waiting for that other one. As a matter of fact, once we get back there, whatever's in there, come on. Whatever's in there, we are going to go with, because why wait, even if it's totally full. So we'll just switch this guy out so another one's filling up. And all right, here goes the test. So turn on the volume pump. Cycle to interior. Do we see air in there? Yep, I see air in there. That's a good sign. Now we're going to cancel pressurize. Let's switch over to our atmospheric. And it's pretty cold in here. Minus 39 degrees Celsius. But at the same time, we have 4 kPa. And you can see it on our soup meter up top there too. Now what we want to do is just sort of sit here for a minute, make sure we haven't missed anything, Very good. Now the last thing that we haven't done is we haven't set up the greenhouse growing, and I guess let's see, we got 28 minutes. We can go a little bit longer. So while we're testing whether or not, we're going to come in and remember what, 4.2. Now the pressure might drop. Now here's another one. Watch this. We'll click the button, cycle to exterior. And if you look up in the top right, or here, let's even look here, turn it on. It already sucked it out. So it sucked out whatever air was in here and blew it back into the room so that we didn't waste any air. Now when you're on another planet, you may want to have like a double door lock, or you need the more sophisticated system that'll say, okay, if you're coming in, you want to depressurize and blow the stuff back out. So what do we want? We want, nope, not a passive vent. We want another canister holder. We don't need a canister right this minute. Though we will probably want an extra canister for water, though it's not that critical. So canister storage, get out of the way because this thing will come shooting out. We got a few pipes there. I don't know. There we go. Let's make a few more pipes. And while we're waiting for that, no, I think we make the greenhouse things in here anyway. All right, whatever number of pipes, that's enough. Let's see, where do we make the greenhouse things? No, we make, oh, there it is. Yeah, hydroponic tray. So these are a bit expensive, but we'll make 4 of them. Just to say we have them. And it'll give you guys a good idea of what we're going to do just on a bigger scale. Again, something I'd probably do between the episodes. Okay, I think it's done. I thought we could. We probably were short on something else, weren't we? No, that's whatever. 3 is enough to show you what's going on. All right, so let's hop back in here. Now, by the way, as a general statement, now you know it's going to start trying to pressurize this room up to 101, and we don't want to wait for all that. There's you can see how the air was going over to here because it was getting sucked back into there. So what we want to do is figure out where we want to grow some stuff, and what I'm thinking of is that we would grow it like right along a row right here. So, and I didn't pick up that canister. That was not real smart. Well, here, let's pop this stuff down first since we have it on us. So let me start out with the pipes. And what we want to do is we'll probably put that canister holder like right there in the corner where it's out of the way. Keeping in mind, eventually that'll be like the middle of the room, right? So let's give a corner. So we'll put that canister holder right up against the wall there. And then we'll come out here. And then what I want to do is put like a T right here. Filter low now. Okay. We're definitely going to ignore that until the episode's over. So there we go. So now what I did was just created a pipe that we're going to put water into eventually. But let's switch over to these guys and we can turn them. I don't think it makes any difference which way they go. And we can make 2 rows of these things. Now eventually we may have like an actual water filling system and fanciness, but we'll go get a tray. Let's go get the holder, like I said. So we can hit that to cycle. See, now it's going to depressurize me. It's going to pump everything out of here back into there so we don't lose any air. Opens it up when it's depressurized. And we can go get our thing. Now let's go and get our water. Oh, we don't have any water. Oh, yeah, we don't have any water anyway. But we would take this water tank and we would put it in here. You guys will just have to trust me that it's going to work. Maybe at the beginning of the next session, I'll just show you that it's all working and that I grew some food, you know. Yeah, see, I don't think you can hit that. There we go. So what we'll do is over in this corner, we'll put in here where we could put a water canister, the one that's over there, in here, and then it'll fill these guys up with some water. Now we are at 4 kPa still, so that's a good sign. If we were leaking, you know, if one of these things was missing, we would almost certainly, yep, 4.2. So we would certainly have gone down. Now the other thing to do would be, okay, well, it's awful cold in here. And here's another piece of advice. Those numbers that say external to your suit, when they are in the red or like the one's blue for minus 41 Celsius, that means it's not high enough to grow plants. So you want those numbers generally to be in the white. You know, if they start turning yellow, I don't think the plants will die, but certainly by the time they're red, the plants are all going to wilt and die. So there we go. So if we come over into this cell, we should see this temperature coming up a little bit slowly. And the sun will help heat us up too when it's daylight out. So we'll leave this guy run until the temperature's not so freezing. Another thing you can do is while you're running the welder, the gas is actually hotter coming out of that welder, so or coming from the smelting. Well, guys, this was a rather long ordeal, and it's, you know, but we've got, you know, what ends up being a fully functioning greenhouse with the ability to at least manually control the heat and the temperature, and you know that'll be pretty critical to us in the long run. So I think I'm going to call it an episode here. Like I said, in the beginning of the next one, you know, I'll probably I'll get the air pressure up to where it needs to be, and I'll dump more stuff in, and I'll get some crops growing. at least enough to get started. We probably should think about putting a locker or something in here, maybe against that wall, just for temporary storage where we can put some seeds and food as we grow them. So there we go. This is a big step forward. And once you get to this point, you know, the game becomes a lot easier once you can grow food. After that, if you see guys making their big complicated videos, that's because they have a good supply of food at that point. So, all right. Once again, I hope you enjoyed it. Take care of yourselves and have a good day. Bye-bye.